Okay, so this topic is on cells. It's actually chapter 6 out of the 8 chapters for Sec 1. But don't worry, okay, we are going fast. We can also do a lot of revision, meaning we're going to get a lot of papers for you to do. Your main weakness definitely is going to be structured question. So you need to do the homework assigned to you, especially during revision, right? Okay, so I can highlight to you how to improve. So let's look at this topic now. What do you need to know for this particular chapter? Okay, so show understanding of functions of the different parts of cells. In the worksheet, I think you are very clear already. They even ask you, what's the function of this, what's the function of that. Okay, they even talk about, which part of the cell actually controls all the activities. Yeah, and you learned something already in P5. Okay, you already learned cells in P5. You learn about the plant cell and the animal cell. So not something that you totally have not learned before. Okay, so this is familiar. Recognize that multicellular organisms include both plants and animals. Cells of similar structures are organized into tissue. Okay, many tissues then make up an organ. Okay, organs are then organized into systems. So this is something you must know. Yeah, because that is going to lead on to division of labor. Okay, every part of our body has its own specific function. Okay, now you must know different parts of an animal cell. You learned this already in primary school. It's just that you learn something extra when you are in secondary school now. Okay, just a little bit more. Okay, and then compare a typical plant cell and typical animal cell. Okay, so the comparison, they will ask you, what's the similarity? What's the differences? Can you list down 2 similarities and 2 differences? Questions like this will come up. Okay, then of course, the moral and social issues related to genetics. This is something talked about once a while. But then you have to know, okay, what is the right thing to do? What is not the right thing to do? Okay. We talk about more about it later part. Okay, so this is a diagram of an animal cell. You have the cell membrane. Okay, it's the outermost line here. That's the cell membrane. You have the nucleus. Okay, the nucleus is the purple portion. Within the nucleus, you see a lot of lines, right? Curly lines. Okay, these are the chromosomes. Then you have cytoplasm. Okay, cytoplasm, you are familiar as well. There are many small vacuoles. Okay, some school or some teachers might say vacuoles. It's fine. We are not testing you on pronunciation. Yep. Okay, so I call it vacuoles. Okay, take note of the cell membrane. What is the function? Must remember. Can you see the bold words here? It might not be tested inside your. It might not be tested inside your worksheet. Okay, but you must know this particular cell membrane controls what comes into the cell and what leaves the cell. You must know this. Okay. So it's actually partially permeable. What's the meaning of partially permeable? The term permeable means can go in, can come out. Yeah, so the things can pass through. Okay, but partially means only some can, some cannot. Clear? So partially permeable means only some substances can pass through. Okay. So if it's a layer that allows everything to pass through, we just call it permeable layer. But this is only partially permeable because not everything can pass through, only certain substances. So we call it partially permeable. Cytoplasm. Okay, this is actually a jelly-like substance made up of mostly water. Okay, it fills the cell. All right. And then there are many tiny structures found there, such as the vacuoles. Then you have chemical reactions taking place there. Okay, metabolic reaction or chemical reactions, everything takes place over there. Vacuoles, what are they for? Okay, take note, there are so many of them, small and numerous. This is something very different from the plant cell, which you will see later. Okay. Now, they are membrane-bound sacs. So they are covered with a layer of membrane. Okay. They can contain air, liquid, or food particles. So this part here, do y'all need to take screenshots? If you need to, you just let me know. Let's say I move too fast. Certain students usually will tell me that they need to take the screenshot, ask me to wait a while, or ask me to go back to the previous slides. Okay. Nucleus, not something you are not familiar with. So take note, nucleus, we call it the control center. Okay, we call it the control center. Why? Because it controls all of the cell's activities, such as growth, such as metabolism, using the DNA's genetic information. Okay, so the nucleus contains this genetic information. It helps with growth and metabolism. So these are the main activities of the cells. All right. Chromosomes are found in the nucleus. So within the chromosomes, you have the DNA. Okay. So thread-like structures. Just now we saw all the curly lines, right? Inside the nucleus, these are the chromosomes. They contain DNA. What's DNA? Yeah, take note. Okay, this is like some of the genetic information, right? So it's going to be passed down from one generation to another. Yep. So we call it the inherited characteristics of the organism. In humans, it's like, oh, maybe it's a double eyelids. We talked about it before. Okay, in primary school, you actually discuss that with your teachers also. Okay, you can talk about the ear loops also, right? Yeah. And then some of you even talk about the hairline, whether it's the widow's peak, okay, or you have a round hairline, then whether you have a very high forehead or narrow forehead, all these can be inherited. Okay. Any questions so far? Zixuan, you following so far? Good?
Yeah, I'm recording.
Okay. Yeah, can. Jin Lei, I'm not seeing your face, so I don't know whether you are following or not. Can you turn on the camera? Jin Lei? Are you even here? Totally no sound, no picture. Okay, don't know whether he is around or not. Okay, why I asked for the camera to be turned on. Okay, Vinika, I have a reason why. Okay, y'all sign up for tutorial, y'all attend tutorial, you should be learning something, right? So if let's say you just log in and then you're not listening to the tutorial, then I think you're not doing justice to your parents. So I will let parents know. Okay, Miss Day is a different kind of tutor. Okay, I have to know that you are actually listening in. Okay, I need you to pay attention to learn something. If you are not interested, then I will tell your parents, okay, better save the money. Don't spend money this way. Okay, it's very hard to earn money. Okay, Jin Lei. So that's why I want you to turn on the camera. If you turn on, I'll still speak to your parents also. Okay, and then let them understand my rationale. Okay, Jin Lei, can Are you following so far, Jin Lei? You did well for your worksheet. Yeah, I'm proud of you actually. Okay, you did well. So next one, plant cell. All right, so you have a diagram here, shows a typical plant cell. So you have the cell wall. Cell wall is actually a thick layer. Okay, and then the inner side is actually the cell membrane. You saw how thin the cell membrane was for the animal cell. It's the same for the plant cell. The cell membrane is very thin, but Plant cell is special. It has one more layer, which is the cell wall. And this is an extremely thick and hard layer. It's made of all the dead cells. Okay, so later you see what it really consists of. Then the next thing you must know, cytoplasm is found here. Okay, and then these are the chloroplasts. You learn about chloroplasts in primary school also. Chloroplast contains chlorophyll, and that's why they are green in color. Okay, and then the chlorophyll is responsible for photosynthesis. Mitochondria is found here. Okay, look like worms, tiny little worms. Okay, that's how they are. Then you have starch grains. Food are being stored here. And then the special thing about plant cell, very different from the animal cell, is also the vacuoles. It's not just the cell wall that the plant cell has. Okay, animal cell do not have cell wall, but then plant cells will have it. Plant cell has one large vacuoles, but the animal cells has got many small ones. Okay, you would have noticed. Right, so this is where the nucleus is. All right. So need to know the parts of the plant cell. This is a very large portion. Must remember, it's a very large portion. Okay, and then it's filled with cell sac. What is cell sac? Okay, actually, it just contains the dissolved substances like sugar and salt. It keeps the cells firm. Okay, it keeps the cells firm by taking in water. Right, the cytoplasm is called a thin lining. Okay, in a plant cell, this is different from the animal cell also. It contains the nucleus and the chloroplast. So I talked about cell wall just now. Okay, cell wall, very thick layer, is actually cellulose. It supports a plant cell and then cause it to have its regular shape. You saw how it looks so rectangular. I think we also learned this in primary school because I taught primary school as well. Okay, so I know what you have learned when you were in P5. How come there's a specific shape for the plant cell? Okay, it's all because of the cell wall. It protects the plant against physical injury. Yeah, so something you must remember. Chloroplasts, okay, like I said, they actually contain chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a green color substance. Helps to absorb light from the sun and then allows the plant to photosynthesize.
How come only like plants have cell wall but humans don't, like, but animals don't have?
Don't have, lor. They are just made like that. Okay, that is the structure. If you ask me why like that, honestly, I have no answer for you. Okay, I have to be truthful. I have no answer for you. All right, but that's how they are different. Okay, look at the starch grains here. Okay, I told you you store food, right? Yeah, so it actually allows, okay, the plants to store the food, especially excess food that is being made by the plant. All right. When you learn cells, you must know also single cell. We call it unicellular. Unicellular means one cell only. So an organism that contains only one cell, example, okay, paramecium. So it can perform all functions to keep itself alive. Amazing, right? Okay, this organism is just one cell. Human beings are millions and millions of cells, within us. Yeah, but then this particular thing is so special. Just on its own, it can survive. It looks something like this. Okay. All right. We are multicellular organism because we are made up of more than one cell. And our different cells have different structure and they perform different function. So they must work together to keep us alive. Oh, Harvard is here. Go on. Hi, Harvard. Okay.
Sorry, I'm late.
It's okay. You missed last week's lesson also, right?
I think so. Did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you did. Never mind, you can go and look